Rates and ratios are related to one another, and they're also related to another concept that we'll be discussing called proportion. And the first thing we have here is the definition of rate, which is a comparison of two amounts with different units. A couple of really common examples are miles per hour or miles per gallon. And what that looks like as a ratio that's actually showing the two amounts would be something like, 50 miles per 1 hour. That's what the actual rate looks like. Moving on to ratios. A ratio is a relationship between two numbers, and they can be written in three different ways. And this is going to be something you'll need to know. Um, Using the word to, T-O, I can write the ratio 2 to 3. I can use this symbol, which is a colon, and it's still said the same way, 2 to 3. And this can also be written as a fraction, as 2 over 3. Remember that you can pause these videos at any time. If I go faster, then you're able to write down the notes, or you want to go back and hear something again. A unit rate is a special type of rate. We see that it's a rate using our definitions before. It's two different units, and we're comparing numbers with different units. So this says 300 miles in 5 hours. Well, a unit rate is a rate whose denominator is 1. Right now, my denominator is 5. So if I want to turn this into a unit rate, I know that I'm going to need a denominator of 1 down here. And since I'm talking about hours, that's what it will be, 1 hour. So then I have to ask myself, well, how did I go from 5 hours to 1 hour? I must have divided by 5 because 5 divided by 5 is 1. And we know that in math, everything is about balance. And if we do something on one side, we must do it to the other. If we do something on the bottom, we must do that same thing on the top. So I'm going to divide by 5 on the top as well. 300 divided by 5 is 60 miles. So my first statement that was I went 300 miles in 5 hours is the same as I went 60 miles in 1 hour. It's a unit rate or an average. And this is the type of question that you might see, um, the need to have something in a unit rate. Who runs faster? Me. I ran 90 feet in 6 seconds. Or my friend Jess, who ran 80 feet in 5 seconds. Well, right now I can't really tell who ran faster. I can see that I ran 10 feet farther, but it also took me 1 second longer. So it's really hard for me right now to tell who's faster. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this into a unit rate. Remember, unit rate has a denominator of 1. And since we're talking about seconds, then that's what will go on the bottom. And I'm going to do the same thing over here. I need to change this into a unit rate of 1, or a unit rate that has 1 second on the bottom. And how would I do that here? Well, I must have divided by 6. 6 divided by 6 will give me 1, means I have to do that same thing on the top. And when I do 90 divided by 6, I'll find that 6 goes into 9 one time with 3 left over, and 6 goes into 30 5 times. So my unit rate is 15 feet in 1 second. In 1 second, I was able to run 15 feet. And now I'm going to see what my friend did. So now I'll be able to tell who actually went faster. I was at 5 seconds and I'm now at 1. That means I must have divided by 5. And I'll have to do that same thing on the top here. And when I go to do my division of 80 divided by 5, I'll find that this actually goes in 16 times. So now I am comparing two fractions that have the same denominator. I know how far I went in 1 second and how far my friend went in 1 second. So if I think about it like this, in 1 second I started here and went to here. That's 15. And in 1 second, my friend started here and went to here. That's 16. So who went farther? My friend did. My friend Jess, oops, sorry about that. I meant to change that to a highlighter. My friend Jess ran faster. Here are a couple of challenge problems for those of you that are up for a challenge. What you'll notice here is we've got different units in our denominators. On this side, I see that $33,000 in 1 year, so that's what somebody is making as a salary. And now over here, I'm going to have to try and solve for how many dollars is that in 1 month. So what I'm going to have to figure out is what is the relationship here between years and months. I can't leave them different like that. So I'm going to go ahead and change this to 12 months because there are 12 months in 1 year. And I'm not going to continue this problem. This is a challenge. If you want to try and finish it, you would then just have to figure out, well, how did you go from 12 to 1? And that will tell you what you need to do here, which will tell you what you need to do on the top. And the same thing down here. Unfortunately, I've got seconds and I've got minutes. So I've got to change these so that they can be compared. I'll change this minute into seconds. There are 60 seconds in 1 minute. And that's where I'm going to stop so that you can try and figure out what is the relationship here between the 20 and the 60. How would I change that? And what would I need to do to my numerator? Here's a fun game about identifying ratios. tinyurl.com/Carnes ID ratio. There's an alien, and you have to choose the ratios. That's the only thing he'll eat.